What's up, guys? Pablo here, SP Performance. So today I have an EcoBoost 2.0 block that we basically sleeved. You guys can see this block here was actually ran. This is one here that we actually finished up on, put sleeves in. So we had an issue. You guys are probably saying why you took it out. So here's a quick story behind it. So the story behind it was that the engine itself, though, was having like a lack of power. And we didn't know what was happening, So we looked at the logs and stuff like that. Came across that the exhaust VVT was running away to max 35. This is like a second motor that the guy actually had in the car. The first motor spun a bearing. We didn't quite understand why. All the clearances and everything was proper. But one thing we did notice was that it had the same marks like this on the cylinder walls, right? You can see here, see that there, see that there, how that is, and this one doesn't have it. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So same exact thing, looks the same exact way. I wish I had the other block to show you guys. It's like a mirror image of it. This block has about roughly probably 20-30 dyno pulls on it, you understand? And what we ended up doing was trying to give him more understanding. We know it wasn't a clearance issue. Maybe we thought it was an oil thing. It wasn't that. Oil pump pressure, monitoring everything down to the pump speed, on the oil pump. So make a long story short, what we did find was that the exhaust VVT was running away. When I mean running away, it was running away max. And in turns, it had the hot exhaust still in here, in these cylinders here. And then in turns, when the fuel basically sprayed, boom, pre-ignition. Really didn't hear it, you understand? And this was like with like E85. And then we even tried like ignite, all that. And same thing was happening. So what happened was that when the exhaust VVT was running away, as I was explaining, the hot exhaust gas was still lingering in here. All of it didn't come out. And the same thing in here too. And in turns basically created like pre-ignition when the fuel sprayed into it. And basically you can see these marks here on cylinder 2 and cylinder 3, and you might say, well, how come 1 and 4 is not as aggressive? And you guys can see like the cross hatching on here. The reason why 1 and 4 is not as aggressive as 2 and 3 is because, for you guys who knows, the twin scroll head set up on it, 1 and 4 has its own individual ports. 2 and 3 shares each other's ports. So let's look at the head over here. This is the head actually we're working on porting and stuff like that with some big valves. Let's check that out. Doing a little bit of bowl work in here. Upgraded the valve, upgraded the valve seats. But let's go here. So, as you can see, how this is here. This is 4, this is 1, and this is 2 and 3. So what was ended up happening was that when the VVT was running away, exhaust gases was basically in here going back into 2, or vice versa, depending on the firing order, how it was firing. And then you had 1, which is here, and 4, which is here, which obviously, nothing's kind of going to go back in there, not like how 2 and 3 is. So what we're going to end up doing was actually modifying the exhaust VVT. We've been trying them out on a couple cars, seeing great success with it, and maybe we'll be in the process of releasing it. Right now we only use it for our builds though, just to make sure it's actually is working properly. So for you guys that who are out there tuning these cars and these engines, make sure you guys pay attention to the exhaust VVT, that it's not running away. When it runs away, I would suggest stop and get it fixed. If not, you're basically blowing the motor up 100%, spinning a bearing, basically torching the cylinder walls. All right, I want to show you guys the pistons too on here. You guys can see here, the skirt looks good over here, but you can see right here, this is 1, which isn't bad, right? And this is 2, right? Side skirt looks good. Side skirt looks good. And you can see right over here on the top area, all detonation. This is 2. All right, go over here. This is 3. Same way, same thing. Side skirts is good. Good. All you see here, detonation on there. Let's go to 4. You can see here, how's this perfectly fine, right? How's this perfectly fine here? Okay. And yeah. And you can see also on this one here, which is 2, how the rod bearing looks on it. It's basically on its way out again. So I would suggest basically if you're going ahead to you're tuning these cars, make sure like the first things first that the exhaust VVT isn't running away. It seems to happen with upgraded cams, as far as like, you know, the Piper 285s, and even we tried it with the OEM cams, it was still doing the same thing though. It's basically like a power level though. Once the engine starts rapidly speeding up, it ends up happening. So now some people may say, well, why don't you just lock out the VVT? You lock this out, you're not going to be happy at all. The car's going to feel like crap. Low power, only top end power. On our shop car, basically, we even did that. Locked it out, degreed it, and yeah, pretty much. Nah, I wasn't happy with it. You know, obviously, you know, you want to go ahead and basically kind of go out, you know, bump on it without that you know, that drag, I should say, like how like the Mazda speeds would be. Basically, you know, when you put a big turbo on it, it's really laggy. Yeah, so that's what kind of happens though. But with the upgraded VVT that we're going to be offering though, pretty much for the exhaust only, that allows you to still use it so that basically is working properly and doesn't like fully advance and stuff like that. So yeah, just keep an eye out. And another thing too is what I did notice, we did have this all set up though. So the cylinder bore itself though is out around about 1.5 thou. On these here, they're not too aggressive, but on these here, they are. Because obviously, like I explained, 2 and 3 shares it. So it's just the amount of heat. And you guys, like I said, you can see the crosshatch on it. And this is how new this motor is on here. And this is something that we've been dealing with for a while. Trying to understand, you know, what's going on, what we have to do with it, how to figure it out. And, you know, you guys have to understand something. I can't just throw out like free information either, because, you know, each motor that I cover under warranty, something like this, is basically like $7 grand. So it's just basically money coming out my pocket, you know. So yeah, I'm sure enough if anybody else who owns a shop will understand that too. If you're going through 4 or 5 of these trying to figure it all out and try to get an understanding, you know, the cost adds up. But yeah, so I'll see you guys on the next video when we put this in the car and have it running. And one more thing too, once you have that VVT fixed, you'll gain an additional 100 horsepower, guaranteed, man.